SCRS Porsche Supercup has visited tracks all over the world so far in the first 5 rounds of the season. For round number 6, we head back to Europe and Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for round number 6 of the season. Welcome to Sim TV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finney and Dacuna as we are just about on our formation lap for our 9-driver AM race of the evening. We've got 3 races coming up. Our AM is first, and we've got 2 pro races as the field rolls through the final chicane. We're just about ready to turn them loose from Barcelona. Field rolling now onto the front straightaway. Drew Lidke on pole. Ryan Jamelski, Ryan Daner, Eric Brown, Steve Bunting. Your top 5. Green flag in the air, and we're racing from Barcelona in SCRS Porsche Super Cup as the field thunders down towards turn 1. Flat 6 is screaming all the way.
Yeah, and a great start here for these drivers. We go side by side for second place. Ryan Plord and Lidke side by side heading to turn 1.
Into the first corner on the brakes now. Cold tires. Cars dancing hard in the fence. One car takes a huge hit. That was Sean Foes. He's going to turn up and over for a second. There's Ryan Plord and Drew Lidke. Ryan Daner has pulled out in front. Behind him, a fight with Steve Bunting chasing Eric Brown and Brian Jamelski.
Yeah, seeing coming through the run now, heading towards the hairpin for the first time. Seeing here which one of these drivers can potentially make a move heading down there for the first time.
Way into the brakes. Eric Brown chucks the car in. He can't hang on. He's going to slide way off the racetrack. He'll end up in the gravel. But out front, Ryan Daner pulls away free and clear of Plord by 1.2 seconds. Third, there's Drew Lidke in the 121 car. Brian Jamelski in behind. About 2 seconds behind those two that are fighting for second place as they head towards the kink in the uphill for the first time here, Finn.
Yeah, and the pace that Ryan Daner has shown in the last few AM Cup races, he should be able to drive away with this. That being said, Lidke and Plord are not completely out of it. They're also done pretty well in the AM Cup race, though as Plord runs a little bit wide, having to see him get on the brakes. That caused him to lose some speed. Here comes Lidke with the run down the back straightaway.
In the braking zone now, going to challenge a little bit deeper. Sean Foes out of the race.
Oh, our leader out to the side. He spun out.
Ryan Daner in the braking zone for turn number 9. He's lost control. Let's go back and have a look at exactly how he got himself in that position. Again, cold tires. There's not a temperature in the tires or brakes yet here. Here is a look. Gets out loose in the braking zone. Finney gets into the grass, and it's over from there.
Yeah, and again, talking about cold tires of these cars, maybe the tires weren't up to temp for him or just chucked it in just a little bit too hard. They're expecting him to grip, but he's going to be out of it. And that's going to lead the lead of the race to Lidke and Plord. Now it's the battle for the lead.
While they fight for the top spot, look at Plord closing in on the race leader, Jamelski, and Ryan Daner. Daner on a charge back forward after the mistake in turn number 9. He wants the spot back. He's going to get it. Drag race down the front stretch into turn number 1.
Yeah, now he's going to have to fight. Daner's going to have to fight his way back up to the front. Interested in seeing him. Would have thought he would have been able to drive away, but again, we only have a short amount of time for this race. So he's got to push and push now.
17.5 minutes left to go. Lidke out front, Plord in second. I think Plord might have a little bit more pace here in the early stages of this race, but we know how good Lidke is, Finney, so is this a done deal?
I don't think so. I definitely think Plord can catch up to him. He's been performing better than Lidke in the AM Cup race, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, also leading the point standings for the AM Cup heading into this round. So I definitely might have a shot to get into Lidke. The passing, though, I think is going to be a trouble spot for him. It's going to be hard to pass around here.
Nick Blues lost it. He was back in 8th place, so he's looped it, and his teammate Lidke is up the road, leading to the top spot of the field here. Ryan Plord half a second back, making 8/10 as Ryan Daner tries to close from the 2 seconds back. Mickey and Brown, this is side by side for 6th place.
And we'll see them here as they're fighting up the hill now onto the back straightaway. Brown trying to recover from his early incident off in the hairpin for the first time.
Now you're going to settle in. Field was not very populated in this AM Cup category. Look at Andrew Mickey overshoot. He's driving his mirrors and not focusing out front. It's a big mistake there as Brown tries to close back up. I'm not sure he'll be able to take advantage of it here. You might have to wait till the end of the first to try again.
Yeah, Sector 3 is a really tough section of track for any car other than an open wheel car. Very tight, very twisty, very hard to gain momentum, but you can easily lose it here if you don't get properly back on the power. Like
he got his way through, so Eric Brown to P6, Andrew Mickey back to P7. At the front of the field, Lidke will lead that lap. 15 minutes. Quickest of them all, though, that lap was Ryan Daner, though. How about a lap time of 150.86?
Yeah, and again, this is what I was expecting in him. I was expecting him to be the fastest. Actually, that being said, Lidke last time ran a 150 points. Or sorry, you said Lidke ran a 50.6, right?
Daner, third.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Daner, excuse me, Daner ran a 50.8. Lidke ran a 50. Apologies.
Yeah, so he's trying to pull away. Plord actually the slowest of the top three, which could be a bit concerning. Well, that being said, he's still right in behind Lidke, so I'm curious to see here. Might not have the pace to get by him, but might have enough to at least hang on a second here.
Putting the pressure on, and everybody knows that if you can get the pressure on the race leader, then you can make him make mistakes. You've seen that a couple times tonight in a few different battles already in the 5 minutes of the race. Now up the hill through turn 6 and 7. Watch the curve on drivers right forward with accelerate. Using every little bit of that Porsche flat 6. Down to for 8, 9.
Yeah, so you can see them both kind of bobbing and weaving with Plord trying to get at least a little bit of slipstream. Not going to be a whole lot of an effect, but every little bit helps here as he's trying to, as you're saying, put the pressure on Lidke. He's all over his back bumper now.
Closed in the brakes. I think lost a little bit on corner exit as they head up the hill this time to complete their 3rd lap.
Watch these guys snail on through. Daner slowly closing in from behind potentially here. And if he's not closing, whoa, he actually just took a massive amount of curves. He completely messed up sector 3. That little chicane before the end of the lap.
All right, now battle for the race lead. Ryan Plord right behind Drew Lidke. He's going to swing out to driver's right, go for the top spot. 6 minutes in a battle for the race lead at Barcelona.
Yeah, we're going to see who's going to be braver on the brakes. These guys can have the potential of going side by side through here, but we're going to get on the brakes a little bit deeper and going to get on by for first.
They're going to try to run away. Ryan Daner at a 4 lap that time through a 51.5, which is the slowest in the top 5, save for Steve Bunting in the 83. So this gives Ryan Plord a great opportunity to start driving away. He can just hang on to it.
Yeah, it's going to be the key thing is hanging on to it. We're seeing a few mistakes. Oh, he sent it in there really hard. It looked like the back end's going to come around him a little bit wide out of line. Lidke keeping the line tight. Actually seeing smoke coming out of Plord's tires as he's pushing the car really hard.
Him understeering big time out of that corner as well. I think he's pushing a little bit too hard here, Finian, so maybe he's going to work the tires off this thing, but you have to wonder if that's going to be the demise or if Drew Lidke will find some pace. Again, I'm a little bit surprised that Ford's been able to keep up with and not only do that, but also pass Drew Lidke. We've seen Lidke be one of the best AM drivers in cars history just across the board, and Ford's going to turn that up on its head here today.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, he's been really consistent. I know you've been absent for a few races, but the races you've been absent from, Ford's been pretty much dominating the AM Cup. So he's been really stepped up this season in particular and giving a fight here, and you can see it all coming to a head here at Catalunya.
Riding the curb on the apex, trying to get the car to rotate, now accelerating out towards the chicanes. Tight, twisty. Plord chucks it in, but he's a little bit late on the turn in, all the way out to the edge of the curb. Lidke just so much more calculated through here. You see how he's apexing later. But Plord got a really good run out of the corner.
Yeah, and he did actually get a really good run out of the corner, and we'll see if he can carry it down the street. He should be able to, and then Lidke messed up that run, which he's not going to be able to have a chance of making it past this time by. Coming across the lap, I'm still interested in seeing if Daner is able to pick up something. It was actually 0.6 of a second faster than Plord last time by, so he's not completely out of that 35 car. He's still got over half the race left to go.
About 7 laps to go this time by, and Plord leads by 0.5 of a second over Drew Lidke. Deeper in the field, there's Steve Bunting and Eric Brown. This is for 5th.
And we got Brown trying to recover from an earlier mistake here, trying to get to the back of Steve Bunting. And the battle started to develop for 5th place.
Big curb jump there in turn number 1. He wasn't able to get that car to rotate the way that he wanted and flip back just a little bit, but Plord and Lidke now separated by 0.4 of a second. This battle rages on at the front of the field.
Yeah, this is also, again, still also for the battle for the overall lead in the standings as well, with Lidke just taking the lead over Lidke taking the lead over Plord by only a few points. So Plord trying to make up on those points, which is going to be tough to do because Lidke over the back of it, and Plord is looking not as consistent as the 121 up in front.
Definitely is a little bit faster on raw pace, but the consistency is going to be the key. We've got 2 more races in tonight, and if you don't finish at the top in both of them, you're probably not going to walk away with good points. So Plord leads the way, but it's only by 0.3 of a second. Eric Brown has lost it. He's gone around in the gravel. Look, just got in the grass on entry. Looped it around.
He's been having trouble with that back end, similar to what happened to him on the first lap. So I'm going to go from battling for 5th all the way back to 8th place.
At the halfway point, Plord and Lidke. Ryan Daner, as fast as he has been, It was not a great lap for him. We'll see what the time is as they come across the start-finish line. And Daner will need to do better than a 50.1. He did a 51.1, so he's a second off pace, at least that time through, with not a whole lot of time left here as we're halfway through. Finn, you got to be quicker than the leaders or right on top of them to have any shot at winning this thing, and I think it's going to be between one of these two drivers at the front of the field.
Yeah, I'm still trying to look at Daner's falling off. He's kind of getting back at them. He's falling off another lap, so Daner doesn't have the consistency. Has put in the fastest, actually has not put in the fastest lap of the race. That honor actually goes to Ryan Plord of 149.9, the only time in the 149s out of the M Cup field at the moment. So Plord getting double as he goes out in the grass again. Like it's like we said, has the pace, not the consistency. He's been dropping wheels and it's been getting me worried because that's only gonna make the car handle worse as the run goes on. Once the tires start to wear, we also got a lap drop at Sean Foes.
Foes back out on the racetrack trying to recover from his lap 1 incident where he got on the brakes, ended up hitting the wall, so we'll see if he can make that recovery. But Plord again with the wide track out of turn number 4. That's a big concern there if you drop those tires, especially on corner entry. Look how close to the edge of the track he's getting, Finn. I'm not sure I like that strategy. These cars are so sensitive to losing any sort of grip.
Yeah, and you see them catching up in behind here, heading now into Sector 3. And you see, again, I love Licky the way he's taking some tighter lines. He's losing a little bit in the middle of the corner right there, but keeps it back down tight on exit. Nowhere to go here. This is all going to be about setting up for that final corner. He's been struggling to do that. That's where I think Floyd's been able to, that's been his saving grace because he's been able to stay ahead by the time they get to turn 1.
Lidke's lines are such a mess through the chicane, and then he just cleans it all up and makes up for everything plus some. At the exit of that final corner, he just rockets away down the straightaway. Behind him, Ryan Daner off in the gravel. Lost control again.
Yeah, now actually going to fall back to 4th with that. Meanwhile, up ahead, both the leaders working their way on around, and you can see now Shuffle's getting out of the way, and they're going to resume their battle with clean air up in front.
Lidke knows he's fast enough to get back by the 74. I think he just needs to push him into a bit of a mistake. That's what we've seen happen a couple times so far. I think Lidke's going to have to size him up and maybe force a mistake out of the 74. And honestly, the 74 might make one all on his own. We've been seeing him make them left and right. We'll see if he does it again at the corner exit here. Not quite.
Yeah, he can start getting up. As you say, he goes wide. Way wide into the next corner. Now Lidke brought that all the way back up here, now chasing him down.
The run down to turn number 6. Lidke right on the tailpipes of the 74. Left, right, up the hill. Watch the curve on the right. Lidke takes a tighter line. He wants this lead back.
As he can get it here, he's going to try to keep it tight now. Onto the back stretch they go. And yeah, I just heard Floyd over the radio saying he's saying that his rear tires are struggling for traction.
Well, don't admit that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't admit that because that's just a shark smelling blood in the water for Drew Lidke.
If he keeps missing his apexes like this, he's definitely going to lose his spot here. And Lidke, you can see him, he's hounding him, knowing that he's starting to struggle.
Oh, big dive for Lidke into the braking zone. Didn't mean to make a pass, but he's just offsetting to the right just to make Plord check the mirrors. Now through the final corner, accelerating out. This is where that rear tire wear should hurt Plord. He jumps over the curb and hits the dirt.
Yeah, whoa, and Lidke by himself also got a little bit squirrely coming out of there. The car almost went around him, but coming out of the final corner. Now he's got a little bit of a run. I don't think it's going to be enough, but we'll see. Maybe he will send a dive, maybe try to juke out the 74, keep him guessing.
Here he comes into turn number 1. Will he pop out of line? No, he's going to stay in and follow the 74 through. This is just mind games at this point.
A nice amount of curve as he was going through turn 1 as well for Lidke. Now getting a nice tight line through the long right-hander.
Accelerate out, now chasing the turn 4. Braking zone. 2/10. Grab a little bit of dirt on apex. I think Mir driving a little bit. He slides out wide, and Lidke is there to swipe across. Look up the inside for turn 5. Not going to take it this time, I don't think.
No, it's not, but again, Lidke's still there mounting that pressure, and again, as Plord is saying, his tires are starting to wear out more. That's only going to be worse for him as this run goes on.
Ryan Chabelski's a full 7 seconds back, then it's 2.5 back to Daner in 4th, 12 seconds back to Bunting, then half a second back to Mick Blue, Eric Brown, Andrew Mickey, and Sean Foes. Big slide for Lidke that time. He's having trouble keeping the tires up underneath him.
Yeah, I'm curious if now we're getting to the point where now Lidke's tires are starting to wear off as he's been, pushing the envelope. These guys have not been backing down at all. Lidke's also been pushing. You can see right there, he was loose out of the hairpin and now trying to get back on the power. He lost time.
I wonder how much mind games that was from Ryan Plord. If you tell the guy that you're struggling, he's going to try a little extra hard to get by you because he knows you're an easy target. Whether or not Plord was telling the truth the first time, I don't think we'll know. But Lidke seems like he's overdriven his own equipment trying to chase this 74 down.
No, Plord struggling through the chicane again, hits the curb on the left-hand side exiting. Oh man, but these guys are sliding out of the final corner. It's honestly impressive to watch.
Porsche Supercup, we love these cars. Flat six is wailing down the straightaway. 5 minutes to go. Lidke's got a big run. He's sitting on it, Finian. Here he comes now to the inside. Battle for the race lead into turn number 1 at Barcelona. Lidke on the brakes, Plord on driver's left. Can he hang on to the first chicane?
So Lidke takes a massive amount of curve that kind of upset the car, fell back in behind. Plord will see if he can get a better line through the sweeping right-hander and maybe get a run to the hairpin.
Plord accelerates off using all the racetrack. Lidke falls in behind 3/10 back. No danger from anyone behind, so it's a two-man race in the final 4 minutes. Next time by will be 2 laps to go in our AM race.
Yeah, the race being extended a little bit by accident. These guys have an extra 5 minutes to race, so that might be exactly what Lidke needs. Plord was wishing this race already ended. This would have been the final lap.
Racing and chasing into turn number 7 now. Curve on the left, curve on the right. Watch the yellow. Accelerate up towards turn 9. Attack the apex here. Plord with a good run, but he overdrives it in corners. It knocks the cone sideways, way out in the green and gravel.
Yeah, it goes onto the other side of the track, clips some grass there as well, trying to defend from Lidke in behind.
Here comes Lidke, nose tucked up the inside. 2 laps to go when they get back to the stripe.
And Lidke had a really good run last time through. That's exactly what it needs. Maybe a little bit of a better run heading down the straightaway.
A lot of patience required to this very, very tight chicane. Both take way too much curb. It's going to hurt Lidke a lot more. Now Plord runs wide on exit. And now the gap is the same. 3/10.
Yeah, but Plord got a much better run out of the final corner than Lidke. You can see the gap he expanded out of there. So it's definitely not going to happen this time by.
2 laps to go from Barcelona in our AM Cup race for the night in SCRS Porsche Supercup. Down into turn number 1. 4/10 of a second now separating the leader. I think Plord is faster. If he would just calm down and go slow to go fast here, Finney, he might be able to drive away from Lidke. He's overdriving and costing himself plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm curious again if this is maybe part of his plan to make Lidke to overdrive so he doesn't have enough tire to pull a move, or if he's just generally overdriving it. But at the very least, he's overdriving, but also doing a great job at defending and not letting Lidke get too many lines up into some of the other corners. He's kind of a sitting duck heading to turn 1, but he's defended that so far.
All the way out to the edge of the green and gravel, and now we head up towards turn 7 again. Plord leads the way. So far in this race, we've had 9 completed laps. He's led 6 of them. 2/3 of the laps that we've run in this race. Lidke has led the other 3.
And you see Plord, he went out last time, hit a cone, almost got there this time by, but he's going to keep it much more on the track. And actually started to build just a little bit of a gap between himself and Lidke.
Into the hairpin now. It's a half a second. I think you're right. He's been able to establish a slight lead now. Half a second.
And big thing is going to be, can he maintain that lead here, especially heading to the last lap. It's going to be the last one they have down at turn 1. That's, again, one of the best passing opportunities on the track for Lidke.
Plord into the apex for the chicane. Nice and tidy there. He cleaned it up that time.
And Lidke sent it away too deep. He compromised this run now. Coming out of the final corner. Here they come. White flag in the air for both these drivers.
1 more lap around Barcelona for the AM Cup race. Ryan Plord out in front. Drew Lidke in second. Both of them battling for the AM Points race, or championship lead, I should say. With 1 lap to go, the race is on the racetrack as well.
Yeah, they still do have 3 more races after this, but this is the one time they can fight for, top tier points. There's a lot of separation between first and second. Both these guys vying for it. Plord trying to close that gap to Lidke in the points, and this is exactly the kind of finish he needs.
Plord able to pull away. I think Lidke's used up his equipment here, Finn. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to complete this pass for the race lead that he's been trying for.
Yeah, he's actually been falling off quite a bit, and I think he just, this is what we were talking about, I think just burned up his stuff. Somehow burned his stuff up more than Plord, it seems.
Run down to turn 7. Ryan Plord has been in command in this race. Didn't look like he was going to be able to hang on. He was all over the place, slipping and sliding and trying to hang on. With excellent recoveries from those mistakes, and the matter of fact that Drew Linke was making just as many, it might put him in victory lane here for the M Cup race.
Yeah, again, just has one more sector to work through for Plord. Can't make a mistake now. He's almost home.
Careful on that throttle. Watch out. Don't spin the tires. Up the hill, the final time. One more chicane sequence left for Ryan Plord. It's 0.8 of a second. To lose it now, he'd have to make a huge mistake. Back to the left, back to the right. Bump and slam over the curves. Ryan Plord held off a frantic fight for the race lead with Drew Linke honing him down. Wasn't able to do it. Ryan Plord wins the M Cup race in SCRS Porsche Supercup.
Yeah, Lidke coming sliding out of the final corner. Will have to finish for second place, but great battle for these two. Meanwhile, now coming out of the final corner, Brian Shabelski, he will round out the step of the podium for the AM Cup race. Finishing in third place, and then back and forth. Ryan Danner, a bit disappointed with this run. He has a chance to win this race, but you can see he's collected damage, and just has not been a particularly good run for him considering the pace of that car. We'll have to settle for fourth. Mick Blue will round out your top 5 as well.
Consistency is the key, and just not consistent enough for Ryan Danner there. We're going to step away for just a moment. We'll be right back for the 2 Pro-Am races on the night. Stick with us.
Would you like to have a career in racing, and if so, what would you like to do, Dale?
Well, I want to be a race car driver someday. That's, it's all I've ever known, racing.
What did you want to be when you grew up? So many people live a life of what if. Go to school. Go to college. Get a 9-to-5. This is how we support our dreams, with a safety net. Because we're unsure about taking a leap of faith. Because we're afraid. As we grow, we cross things off our list of dreams. We cut them down, make them realistic. Having control of things is reassuring. But for some, the rush of being out of control is what gives them life. Some say racing cars is reckless. Maybe they're right. Out of bounds isn't just cheating, it's cheating death. Football fields made up in seconds. Decisions made in instants. For the people that climb behind the wheel of these cars, they're not driving it. They become part of it. It's an extension of the body. As a child, I looked up to these people, faces hidden by helmets. The less you saw of the driver, the more believable it became that they were, in fact, just part of the machine. It's easy to forget that inside the cockpit is someone just like us, but with the mindset that fear is a motivation, not a barrier. But the reality is, race car drivers are not like us. They never cross anything off their list of dreams. They just keep writing more. Daytona.
This is the finish of the Daytona 500. Side by side.
Le Mans. Indianapolis. Monaco. Places that used to be just places, now international symbols of victory. To those that enjoy the spectacle of racing, the 2 feet of concrete and steel cables are a wall between us and them, between sitting in the grandstands and standing in victory lane. These same walls are a stark, immovable reminder that racing drivers put their lives on the line for the sake of the thrill and entertainment. Despite the risk, despite the heartbreak,
Oh my gosh!
despite the cost. There are some on the sidelines who are fascinated by the danger. They are fascinated by speed, fascinated by the undying desire to be just a little bit better. Their dreams, erased by geography, finances, or the lack of a famous last name. There are some who once wished to be a race car driver, but aren't, because they didn't get the chance. And they thought they'd spend the rest of their lives watching their heroes on television, or from the other side of the fence. They thought it was impossible to climb into a race car, so they crossed it off their list. But it's not For those who competed decades ago, speeding down highways, through towns, country roads. For those who sat watching on the sides of the street, who found solace in chaos and thunderous speed. Even for those who grew up without the sights and the sounds, and live without race cars shaking the ground. Who don't understand why racing appeals to our fascination, wonder, and the way that we feel. A purpose-built place to camp and spend time with friends, watching racing together until darkness descends. Though no longer do the streets rumble and roar, there's a place just for this, a park to explore.
A road racing circuit before the assault. The 4 twisting, beautiful miles at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For 6 brutal, ear-shattering hours, its serenity will be violated by the raw power of screaming racing machines. It's the famed end-of-season endurance classic, the Road America 500. The specially constructed race circuit at Elkhart Lake at normal speed is a scenic 4-mile drive through fall-tinted Wisconsin countryside.
Hidden by forests near Elkhart Lake, not a path nor a trail, but a road meant to race. In a town too quiet, the refuge we seek, Road America, the racetrack, the national park of speed. How do you build an empire? You don't start with glass and steel and concrete. You start with a single brick. Laid side by side together, they become something much bigger. These bricks are a part of history. The people who set them into the earth were building more than just a racetrack. They were building a legacy. They were building memories. They were building dreams. As decades passed, a kingdom rose around this 2.5-mile ribbon of asphalt. It became an international icon. Lives were made here, and lives were lost here, in a pursuit of eternal glory. No one has to say why this place is special. It just is. And though over the years the pavement between these walls has been paved time and time again, there is still a stretch of bricks by the finish line to remind us all that great things come from humble beginnings.
In the heart of Virginia, there's a stretch of pavement that has ingrained itself in American racing history. Built in 1957 with just a bulldozer and a plot of land, Virginia International Raceway has become an icon. Over the years since its reopening in 2000, it has hosted IMSA, the American Le Mans Series, NASCAR, SCCA, and Champ Car races. Legends have raced there, including Roger Penske, Mark Donohue, Richard Petty, Hurley Haywood, Dan Gurney, and more. Between turns 11 and 12 stood a defying feature, an old oak tree. This tree stood untouched, shading the south end of the course for decades. For some, oak tree became a symbol of VIR and a reminder of how road courses used to be built. They used to be built with the lay of the land, following each contour and moving around obstacles, not through them. Earth may have been moved, but not tarnished. Oak tree was a lasting memory of when tracks were not just built, they came to be, like the tree. Although oak tree no longer stands, nor does Hog Pen, turn 17, the corners both still bear the name of what used to exist. And the track stays unchanged the way it was meant to be, with the lay of the land, for the land. Maybe that's why Paul Newman called it heaven on earth.
Welcome back live to Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for SCRS Porsche Supercup round number 6. Hi, my name is Kyle Heyer here with Finney and Acuna as we embark on our 6th round of the season here. Finney, we had our AM Cup race earlier. It was Ryan Plord that won that. Now practice almost complete heading into qualifying for our 6th round. Who are your eyes on here tonight?
Definitely going to keep my eye on James Walker. He's been dominating this series so far. He's been doing a fantastic job leading the points by decent margin, almost 30 points, a little over 30 points over Carter Cundinger, who's sitting in second. I definitely think Carter's going to be one to watch, as well as Kurt Crum in third. We saw Crum try to put up some solid fights last week at Spa and was able to make up some points back to Carter Cundinger, but we'll see now heading to this race if he can surpass him for that second place spot in the points.
Having a look now at Barcelona, 16 turns, 4.65 kilometers. We did a little research pre-event here. This track was constructed at the same time that the Barcelona Olympics were here, and they ran a cycling event using the start-finish line of the racetrack. That's a fun fact.
Yep, the 1992 Olympics.
Cool. The track was started construction in 1991, and now qualifying underway here. James Walker, Zach Buchanan, Kurt Crum, all out on the racetrack here. So we had a long time, a lot of qualifying here, and this is just qualifying. So I guess we'll treat this like a sort of a podcasty sort of deal. This is a long night, so we'll kind of take everyone's mind off the racing for a little while until we get into the actual racing. Your thoughts on Flight Sim?
Oh yeah, it's a really awesome game. Despite some minor bugs and some stuff with the game, obviously there could be stuff that tweaked and fixed out. But I mean, besides that, the flight dynamics, it's amazing. I haven't played X-Plane that much, so I guess I can't really compare it to that. But from by and large, I'm seeing a lot of people saying it's definitely a step up. And a lot of people transferring over from X-Plane to MSF, and again, MFS, I guess, the abbreviation. Is going to be the abbreviation for the game. But yeah, it's really awesome, and I can't wait to see especially how it evolves over the next few months, because they're adding a lot of stuff from what I've been reading.
Yeah, again, I think I haven't really played a flight simulator game other than DCS probably since I'd say 2012 or 13, and it's been a long time for me. But I have to say, I've been blown away with Microsoft's newest creation, and I think I'm willing to overlook so many problems with it just because I'm excited to be back in a game like that. So yeah, there are a couple bugs, and it's a little weird right now in some places, but I'd say all in all, I've been blown away with it. I've been having a lot of fun. Right before this, I was actually flying in Cape Cod, checking out the cottage we used to stay out over the summer. I was in the middle of a flight from Tokyo to Osaka, just enjoying the night sky. Just such a really cool, different sim where the entire goal is just to relax, and that's something I found myself sort of stepping away from sim racing for an extended period just because I'm so tired of being high-strung all the time when I'm playing games.
Yeah, and especially too, I like the fact, especially what they did with the detailing of the world. I actually feel like this time for this flight sim, it's actually worth going to other places, because for the most part in other sims it was more like you to see, you know, some slightly different textures, some slightly different buildings, and that's pretty much it. But the landscape and even the buildings themselves are completely different now, so it's genuine. When you go to another part of the world, it genuinely feels like a completely different part of the world.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that I was a little bit disappointed about was obviously they're using Bing Maps for the photogrammetry cities, and I wish that they had used Google Maps. Obviously it's Microsoft Bing, whatever, but Bing is so much less what's the word? So much less complete in their 3D mapping than Google's is. So there's a lot of places that are 3D in Google Maps that could benefit from the photogrammetry that we don't have in the sim because Bing doesn't have them yet. I know that's something that can and will be updated, but I think the photogrammetry cities are so much nicer looking. I mean, not that the other ones are bad, but it's a huge step up to have the city photogrammetrized versus the autogen ones. But I still think it's a phenomenal accomplishment. And I think the biggest thing is how good the trees look. Because the trees are like, remember how black they used to look in FSX? Like they
look like trash.
They looked like garbage. And now to have green, soft-looking trees is such a nice change. I'd also say the clouds are phenomenal to look at as well.
Yeah, I know we were doing a flight yesterday, both of us, from Paris to somewhere in southern England. And we were flying pretty much the entire time through a layer of heavy clouds, and it's just so amazing to see how dynamic the clouds, the volumetric clouds, and just like the effect of coming from going through a cloud and then coming out into the sun. It's so beautiful.
It really is pretty. And I think the other thing is you mentioned the volumetric part, the atmospheric conditions in terms of the humidity and how the light reflects off the atmosphere. That is what struck me is when it's hazy out and the sun's coming through. That's just absolutely beautiful. The icing effect on the windshield's really neat. The turbulence effects. There's just so much to it. And obviously, out of the box, there's a lot of things in the larger jets that are inoperable and that sort of thing. But for me, I'm a casual player. I don't really care. I want to get in. I want to be able to to do all the things that you do, but I don't really care about running down each individual part of a checklist. I'll leave that to the ribbon counters and the payware developers to do that right. But I like just getting in, throwing the flaps on, taking off, flaps up, gear up, and fly. That's what I can do in the sim. I think we might see that kind of on Sim TV the next couple of days in some capacity, just kind of messing around and having fun, because it's Sim TV, not Sim Racing TV. So I think we'll bring some more content in a different way here in the next couple of weeks. I've wanted to do that for a long time, but I never really knew how to do it. I think the flight sim's the perfect way to introduce everybody to something else other than racing.
Yeah, absolutely, especially considering how beautiful. We were just spending pretty much a lot of today just flying around to the different tracks, and gotta say, I mean, obviously it's not 100%, but just to have it there, and you definitely, I think at the very least, you definitely get the effect of, you know, you see pictures on Reddit when people are like landing or like they're flying over and you can see a track from up below. It absolutely passes that as far as the eyeball test.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, the autogen, how that works is it's actually pretty cool technology, but it basically scans the satellite imagery and decides what building should go in that spot. And it takes a guess. It doesn't really know that a grandstand's a grandstand, so it'll just chuck down an apartment building on the front stretch at Watkins Glen. But again, from the sky, when you're 20, 30,000 feet in the air, it does the trick. You get up closer, it does the trick until you're probably below 5,000 feet, and then you can go, okay, yeah. But again, it's the whole world. And this time you can actually see tracks. In FSX, that's not a thing.
No, yeah, and just how varied the item is. Like, I was flying through Long Island and seeing the individual highways, like different parks and stuff, golf courses like that, and like, well, actually being there in the real life, it's really insane what they've been able to pull off for this.
Well, you just have to wonder. I mean, the Flight Sim X slogan was "It's as real as it gets," and you have to wonder if this is what we have in 2020. Imagine what we get in 2030. I mean, we are so close to being as real as it can get. I think when you're flying up and you're at a couple thousand feet at night, you cannot tell that it's a sim. It is that good.
I really am curious just in general to see, because like, especially to what Microsoft has been able to accomplish with their AI, as far as, you know, making the autogen series, like the details behind it are honestly insane. I'm curious to see what other games, there's not too many that I can think of, but what developers can definitely do with it, because this game has definitely stepped the bar up in that.
Yeah, I think, you know, what's interesting about flight sims is that they have to accomplish something that no other game has to accomplish, because every other game, you could probably argue other than Minecraft, has a finite map. So you can design to a finite existence, and you're not designing, in what feels like infinite regions, right? Flight sims have to accomplish something that you could never do by hand, ever. You could never model the entire world by hand in any reasonable time for any reasonable amount of money. So the reality is, you have to have some sort of auto-generated scenery. And I think that fits flight sims better than it does other games where you can hand design assets, because let's face it, hand design assets are better than ones that are automatically generated. But I think the power of it is the amount of space you can cover. And I have to wonder, I'm sure a game like GTA could benefit from that as well.
Oh, just making like a giant map.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would take the work out of the devs' hands a little bit, because they can go, okay, well, this area, let's make this grassy, and it'll fill in grass automatically. And you don't have to place every single bush, which is the traditional way of how you make games, is you individually hand place every single asset.
Every single, yeah.
And I'm sure to some extent they have some sort of automatic system that will mass place things. But to be able to do that and have the AI decide, well, hey, maybe this is bordering this specific region, so maybe it's going to fade out into dried brush, rather than being a hard divide between grass and no grass. And that's the power of where the AI lies. And it's not evil stalking AI either. The other thing that amazes me is the world streaming. You would never know.
And I was gonna say, like, they had to do that because it's 2 petabytes worth of data, which is insane.
Well, the average human brain
it works
can
really well.
2.6 petabytes of data. So just to put that in perspective, how insane, I mean, or I guess, if you're, depends on who you're talking to, but 2 petabytes is a lot. And the streaming part, I don't think I would, if you didn't tell me that's how it worked, I would never know. I have not noticed any, I mean, I have a pretty decent internet connection, but I've noticed nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to how the world is portrayed.
Yeah.
So with that, qualifying is nearly complete. James Walker, unsurprisingly, is at the top of the board in the TDR Porsche. Kurt Crum is in second, the Bombshell Racing Team car. Zach Buchanan, the Project 2 car, in third. The Bombshell Racing Team car sits in fourth. Carter Kundinger in fifth. And looking down the rest of the order, Andrew Mickey, Mick Blue, and Sean Foes have yet to run times. But from Barcelona, looks like Walker, will he be able to just walk away with this one, or do you think he's got to fight for it tonight?
I think he should be able to. Again, he's been dominating the points, this season coming in as a new driver. So interested in seeing if he can get it done here. I definitely think he'll be able to. He's also definitely improved a lot in his second race performance, which is a tough thing to do, working from the back to the front of the field. It's not an easy task, but Walker's been able to get through there and actually start getting the wins in that second race as well, and just giving these guys less of a chance to get some points. But I'm curious to see, Crum, Buchanan, Mickey, or Kundinger can bring anything to the table, being the guys in behind.
I know you're rolling your eyes at my Walker pun, but sometimes you just walk right into that. So as we head down, to the racetrack now, this will be about a 14-lap race, and we'll line up and get ready to go racing after we do a very short pace lap. Let's roll through the starting grid. On the front row tonight, it'll be James Walker, the 97. Alongside him, the Bombshell Racing Team car, 87, Kurt Crum.
And moving on back to row number 2, it's going to be Zach Buchanan lined up in third place. Next to him, Eric Mickey going to be starting in fourth.
In row number 3, a couple of teammates. It's going to be Carter Kundinger in the 02. Chris Hudson in the 43 rolls off in 6th.
And moving on back, we find our first AM driver, Ryan Plort, starting in 7th place. Next to Drew Lidke, the man he beat in the AM Cup race just a few minutes ago, in 8th place.
In row number 5, Brian Chmielewski starts in the 12th car in 9th. 10th place, Nicholas Morelli in the 095.
Starting in 11th will be Kyle Edwards-Lamb in the 42 machine. Next to him, Colin Daner is starting back in 12th.
In 13th, Isaac Snyder in the 333. On the outside of him in 14th, Eric Broad in the 56.
And moving on back another row, in 15th we find Steve Bunting in the 83 machine. Next to him is going to be Mick Blue in the 96, starting 16th.
Last row here, Andrew Mickey in the 86 and Sean Foes in the number 10, who crashed in the early going in the AM Cup race. All right, field lined up and ready to turn them loose. Just waiting on Andrew Mickey and Zach Buchanan to grid up and go racing. Have a last look at our weather here, weather conditions. 69 degrees in the air, 72 on the racetrack, low humidity, a beautiful evening, if not a little bit cool here in Montmello, Spain. for Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for SCRS Porsche Super Cup. Next thing on Sim TV, I think is going to be Sunday afternoon. No, we have Formula I this weekend. Right here.
Yep.
We have Formula I.
Catalunya.
Formula I this weekend at Catalunya. Then Sunday, Weekend Warriors action will resume.
Yeah, at the Nordschleife for that.
Oh boy, that's going to be a fun one.
I still have to make cameras for that track.
R.I.P. your weekend. Then on Monday night, we've got Erska returning alongside the... actually, no, we don't have 3 wide until the 31st, so it's just Erska this week. And then Tuesday, the Fuel Mission 22 Premier Series will head to their next event. That will be headed out to New Hampshire this time around. And then Thursday, we'll be back here again for SCRS Porsche Super Cup. And you'll be joined likely by Finney Dakota and Connor Horn for that one, as I'll be at the National Park of Speed, Road America, a week from today. All right, field lined up. 17 strong, missing Andrew Mickey.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Andrew. Hope everything's okay for him. I see him in the lobby in the Discord. Not sure what's happened to him. He's having issue.
Could be issues, could be something else as we come out of turn number 16. Side by side, Walker, Crum, Buchanan, Mickey, Kundinger, the top 5. 14 laps of racing. Green flag flies into racing in SCRS Porsche Super Cup, round number 6 from Barcelona, Spain.
And the field nicely coming by in rows or two, heading down to turn 1. Kirk Crum, you see him going to dart out of line, trying to chase down first place Walker, Mickey, and behind, and then also Carter Kundinger. Oh, he's going to crash and send Buchanan flying end over end into the gravel trap.
Well, that was unlucky for Zach Buchanan. Just gets collected. That'll likely be race over for him. And at corner exit, looks like Hudson and Morelli have tangled even more so. Drama here on the opening lap. Let's go back. It was 0-2 of Kundinger getting sideways and just absolutely obliterating Zach Buchanan. That'll be race over for the 40 Project 2 car. He sits in turn number 1. Walker and Kurt Crum lead the way behind him. Ryan Plord, AM Cup winner in the wall. Everyone dodging and weaving. No, they miss him. No, Bunting drives straight into him. That was just not heads-up driving there. Was not the first one to get there. Now car off an exit. That's Eric Brown. What a mess to the start of this race.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if someone just dumped oil all over the track or what's going on. But yeah, a lot of drivers falling out of the order. Now we've had, I think, almost 4 or 5 cars in incidents and almost retired here on lap 1. We're still not complete with lap 1 just yet.
Yeah, and Steve Bunting, I mean, there was a lot of cars that managed to get by that, but Bunting just drove straight into it, so must not have been able to see very well. Here comes the 42 of Kyle Edwards Lamb up the inside of Drew Lynn. He slams the door shut at turn number 9. Now drifts out wide. It looks like Lamb's going to sneak his way up on through here, but Lidke retains driver's right for now. Now he concedes.
And back up to the front, Kirk Crum, he's not let Walker out of his sight. You see these guys running nose to tail after lap 1. Bit surprised with this. We'll see if Kirk Crum can keep the pace up here. Again, 25-minute races for both race 1 and race 2. So it's a lot of time to keep the pace up. We'll see if that 87's got it.
Lap 1 complete. Andrew Mickey says the issues he's having are the track and car. Says he's terrible. So I can relate on a lot of different levels. But across the line, 1 lap in and 2 minutes down.
Crum's got a bit of a run here. Might not be enough for pass, might be enough, but he's going to actually stay in behind Walker here. I'm curious to see if Crum's just kind of pushing the issue here, maybe trying to get the pass done early and sit out in front of the 97.
Battle for 5th place, Kyle Edwards Lamb and Drew Lidke. They're not done yet. Behind him, whoa! Mick Blue almost drilled Steve Bunting in turn number 1. We saw him get way late on the brakes. He locked him up. Lost a bunch of time.
Yeah, he's got to deal with Carter Kundinger. He's trying to catch back up through the order. Kundinger starting 5th, back in 10th place now with a damaged car.
How much damage he's got? It looks pretty significant. He absolutely obliterated the 40 car. I'm not sure that's all that we saw either, so we'll see if he can make do with it. He's up into 10th and looking for 9th on Mick Blue.
They're trying to get the car to handle the outside. Can't quite get it done. Gonna maybe get a little bit of brake. See him switching into the braking zone, getting a better run off corner.
Ryan Chmielewski was real slow. He's going to let on by Morelli and Foes. Up towards the front, Walker and Kurt Crum separated by 0.4 of a second. We'll see if Crum can crack the nut of James Walker up the front.
It's going to be tough to get. We're already starting to separate out just a little bit. Crum might be pushing a little bit too hard, but we'll see if he can keep up. Meanwhile, back a little bit further in is the 96 of Mick Blue, just getting past Steve Bunting. And also you see Kundinger now going to be on the outside.
Mick Blue. Blue. Locked it up, spun it around. Easy to do in a Porsche on not quite warmed up tires, so pull back into traffic in 11. This track has proven very difficult so far, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and again, it's a lot of ask for this car on the early laps, and I think with the cold tires and these guys pushing really hard, the car just can't keep up with the demands, at least on lap 1 with the cold tires.
At the front of the field, James Walker leads the way of Kurt Crum by 0.4 of a second, and it's Eric Mickey. Colin Daner has snuck his way inside the top 5. Connor Woods, Landry, Lipke, Snyder, Kundinger, Bunting, and Morelli, the rest of your top 10.
I'm trying to chase him down. Definitely giving this fight honest. He's not letting Walker get out of his sights just yet.
Last time by, Walker was 0.2 quicker than Finian. If that pace stays, he'll be long gone by the end of the race.
Yeah, that's the big concern, really, between these guys. At least for Kurt Crum as far as getting the win. Because, again, if he wants to get this championship, he's going to have to beat the man up in front of him. Otherwise, that gap's only going to expand further and further. Looking further on back, the battle for third place starting to heat up just a little bit. Eric Mickey slowly falling to the clutches of Colin Daner behind him.
Let me tell you what's even closer. That's for 5th, Lidke, right on the heels of Kylan McLeod.
Yeah, Lidke's been performing really well this week. He's looking to expand his AM points now after Floyd all the way back in 17th after coming to the pits to fix his car.
Oh, trouble for Sean Foes and Eric Brown simultaneously. I don't think these were related. There's a look at Eric Brown. Came down towards turn number 6, and I think we're just going to see it be a slip on the brakes right there. Just got in too hot. Sean Foes also, that was in turn 7.
It was literally at the same exact time they both lost traction. It's kind of weird.
For the race lead, Walker feeling the pressure, weaving down the front stretch. Crum still locked in tow.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Walker actually is going to, if he can crack under pressure. He seems to be pretty calm and collected up in the front. As you see the 83 of Bunting up and around in the final chicane.
Yeah, he's looped it. He'll get back rolling. Zach Buchanan is back out on the racetrack with a damaged race car down in 16th place, fighting for the invert here, Finian.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, honestly, if I was him, you know, I would just stay here. I would just stay right in this position. That being said, he's got to fight off Ryan Floyd, who's in behind. I'm not sure if Floyd's catching him at the moment, but I can tell you this, Floyd's car looking pristine as he came in for a repair. Zach's car is definitely not pristine. That thing looks like it just came out of the junkyard and back onto the track. So interested in seeing if this battle starts to develop for what's going to be, as you're saying, our pole sitter for race number 2.
Where do you get junkyard Porsches?
Beverly Hills.
I need a guide. Sell me one. Top spot, Walker and Crum. Bill nose to tail. Crum pushing the issue here in the braking zone, but so collected in both these drivers. Not a lot of mistakes so far.
Yeah, and for Kurt Crum, I was starting to expect him to maybe start falling off around maybe a second or so. He's still kept that gap under half a second in behind Walker, and again, the trouble is what I'm concerned now. If he keeps pushing like this, and if he's pushing significantly harder than Walker, will we see him kind of fall off like we did with Lidke at the end of the AM Cup race?
Well,
we got actually a really good run.
As long as you're not sliding those rear tires, I think you'll be all right. Now down the front stretch, again Walker diverting, racing line to chase the air away from Kurt Crum. But Crum unfazed, will tuck in, now he's going to go out to the right. Way deep on the brakes, can he slow it down in time? A little bit of an overshot, no, he gets it tucked down nicely.
Yeah, I can't imagine Kurt Crum a little bit frustrated with this. You know, he's so close to getting that pass done at a few opportunities, but just when he seems close enough, it starts to get away from him here.
Oh, big swipe. That was almost a touch there between Crum and Walker. All about patience now for this corner. Turn number 6. Wait to get back on final point. Drive all the way out to the edge of the track. It's a little bit slower. Now the run to turn 7 and 8.
And through 7 they go, and now up the climb through turn 8. And then entering the back straightaway. Surprised we haven't not seen more incidents here.
On the back straight or turn 7 and 8?
The backstretch when they come out up, and we saw Florian a few times really close to spinning out there, but we yet to see any incidents there.
Well, everybody crashed
so
in
far.
turn 1 that time. We ran out of cars. From a nice line to get tucked in tight to that apex curve. Bright yellow anti-cuts are a great indicator of where the apex is, at least in that particular corner. And Crum's going to chase Walker through again, trying to line up for the front straight. Nice line there. He's closed right up. This will be a run here. I think we'll take it.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to have something here. Walker, I'll be a little bit concerned about him. Crum significantly closer to the final corner. This time he's going to have the run.
And he's going to step out to driver's left. I think if he can stay alongside, he'll have the race leader exiting turn 3 into the braking zone now. Side by side, Crum and Walker. Walker's in deep, trying to hang on. But I think Crum's got it. At least he's got overlap now for the left-hander. Walker's out way wide.
Now Crum's out wide here through the right-hander. Walker able to keep it tight to the apex, but it can't really get on the gas. He can't get on the power. He'll hit Crum. Otherwise, they're side by side.
Yeah, now it's a run down to turn number 5, and this is going to go to Walker here. Crum's going to have to cross him up. He's going to take the run to the outside and try to carry the momentum. He's there. Great move by Kurt Crum to driver's left, and now he'll have the preferred line for turn number 6. What a pass.
And what if in general, what a fantastic battle for the lead. They're taking all of Sector 1 and then some, and Kurt Crum going to be your new leader now. Can the 87 hold on to this?
I don't know. Walker's pretty good. It was just a momentary lapse that let the 87 get by, plus a little bit of draft, but so much smoother through 7 and 8 is Kurt Crum, and now he's established a 0.3 of a second lead, but Walker tighter through turn 9 here, or 8 and 9. But you see, Crum just starts to walk away just a little bit on the straights.
And here's to see, because Kurt Crum definitely gets a much better line through Sector 3 and coming out of the final corner. And that's, again, I think the biggest part you need to defend on this track. You're most susceptible to getting passed in turn 1. So if Kurt Crum can defend himself from that attack, I think he might be able to hold on to this leader unless Walker's hiding something.
And he's got a pretty sizable lead now, 0.4 of a second, the largest it's been in a couple laps. Swing back to the right now, back to the left, back to the right. Sounds like an Old Spice commercial as they come back to your man, not back to me, not back to your man. As they come out of the final corner, 14 minutes to go.
And you can see the gap now that Crum's put Walker coming out of the final corner, so definitely you should be able to defend this time by. And this is actually looking a lot less one-sided than I would have thought.
Crum braking on the rumble strip, that's a bit nerve-wracking at times. I just don't, yeah, Walker's not quite as tidy through there as Crum.
Yeah, Crum set that section up really nicely.
I'll tell you what, 97 not going that far backward.
Now, I think we might see a very similar scenario where he's going to be able to keep up speed. I would imagine these guys are very equal on pace. In fact, their lap times, their fastest lap times are only separated by just about a 10th over between one another. But, you know, I think we're going to see something very similar. We're going to see Walker trail Crum in behind, and, you know, when Crum makes a little bit of a mistake at some point, eventually might not, but if he does, Walker's definitely going to be able to be there to make the pass.
Nice and tidy through turn 9 now, 12.5 minutes to go when they get back to the line. Behind them for 9th place, Mick Blue and Brian Chabelski. Camden's hit pit lane. I think he realized that it's more fun if he had a fresher car, so he's going to go and service that Porsche.
Yeah, here's so he actually surrendered 50. He was running in 15 at the time. Sean Foes got past him for 15th place and Eric Brown for 16. So Buchanan back in 17. He's got to try to now run down Eric Brown. He's a few seconds up ahead for that for starting on pole. It's the difference for Zach Buchanan between starting 17th and 1st if he can just pass one more car.
I think that's the goal now. Is that one car. He's 10 seconds back. I think he's got plenty of pace to do it. He should be right in the low 50s and high 49s. So that should put him easily within scope of catching Eric Brown before the end of this race. Down the front stretch, you see Crum and Walker are separated by about a half a second. Next closest battle is for 9th between Mick Blue and Brian Chabelski, who will stay up front for now.
I tell you what, these guys have been, this series in general has been giving some fantastic battles for the lead. I know you weren't there for it, but at Silverstone they've also had a pretty solid battle for the lead of that race. And you saw at Spa too, these guys did an excellent job.
So are you telling me that high horsepower and no driver assist will put on good racing at good racetracks? No
yes.
way. Unbelievable. I wonder, you know what? Who should try that would be. No, I think NASCAR's got it figured out with the high downforce push everywhere. I think that's the package we should switch to.
Hey, but NASCAR, though, the racing appears closer.
I mean, I guess, and I guess they also race in a circle, which makes it easier to understand. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So I'm kind of kidding. I'm only kidding like 50%. And you can decide exactly how outraged to be and then tone that back 50%, and that's a fair amount of outrage for my 50% half truth. Does that make any sense?
I mean, I guess a bit. I can kind of understand that.
Okay. You're only allowed to be 50% angry at my 50% joke. That's the point I'm making.
No, there's a lot of math in this joke, I'll tell you that.
Well, I guess 50% of 50% is 25%, so maybe it's 25% rage at my 50% joke.
Yes.
I think that's how that works.
I would hope it does because you have an engineering major, so I'd hope you know that's how that works.
Someone's getting technical with me. It's an oval if you're at Indy. Well, okay. Technically, no NASCAR tracks are ovals, and technically none are circles, and technically none are rectangles.
What are they?
They're boring. Is what they are.
Googling it.
No, they're not. Because an oval has. Maybe
I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about.
You know, like what the hell is a quad oval? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. You can't just make up
each other
shapes.
very much.
You can't just make up shapes. Their fan base can hardly. I'm not going to go there. Never mind. Now it's going to get too real. People are going to get upset.
Well, see, anyway, that tangent aside.
Well, what I was going to say was that you can't make up shapes because the fan base can't even understand the regular shapes. So, but that's mean. I also was an NASCAR fan about 3 months ago, so I think maybe I shouldn't lean into him too hard. On the brakes.
Whoa! For ninth place, Brian Chabelski almost just took out Mick Bloom. Mick Blue, sorry.
Mick Bloom. Whoa! There's a big slide on for the 12th. Nicely done, though. Formula Drift.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew Mickey says Darlington is an oval. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because it's still got straight sections, which I don't think an oval can have.
I guess.
An oval is just an ellipse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, an ellipse has to have curved sides. So therefore, the only one that would even be remotely close is Chicagoland, and we all know that that's not an oval. It's got a pointy end, okay? That makes sense?
Yeah, it also does have like straight parts.
And Indianapolis is not a rectangle because Indianapolis has curved corners. It's a rectangle if you have to stop and make a hard left 90-degree turn.
Oh God!
Like a street intersection.
Don't give people ideas.
I'm just saying it's not. There's still a radius to the corner, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a rectangle. Right. It's what it is just straights connected by 4 90-degree corners. But I guess that is a rectangle, isn't it? Well, the battle for the lead is sort of fizzled, so I think the banter is warranted. But we're still, Walker's still here. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, this is kind of the conundrum, Catalonia. I mean, I like this track quite a bit, but it's not particularly good racetrack. Somebody into aspects like Barber, right? It's like you can get really close, but you can't really get the pass done. And Walker, again, between both these guys are both very similarly mashed up pace, don't get me wrong, but yeah, Walker, he's been trying his best, but has not been able to get anything done here these last few laps.
Okay, discussion. Andrew says a quad oval is an oval times 4, so is that just a double Venn diagram?
What? Yeah, what?
Does that make sense? A quad oval is 4 ovals. So that would just be a Venn diagram. You know?
Yeah, oh, I see.
Here,
yeah.
Like a quad oval. Yeah. Wait, crap, where my... Oh, come back. A quad oval would be something like this. I think.
Yeah, based off of that definition, if you told someone what a quad oval is without any context, I guess sure, yeah, that would be it.
I think that's a fair, yeah. What else could a quad oval be? An oval is a circular shape or an elliptical shape by definition. So quad cannot possibly mean anything about the actual shape itself. It must just mean a multiple of that shape. Because you can't have 4 of anything in a circular shape. It's just one thing.
Oh, also, there's another battle going on the track.
You and your focus.
I wasn't going to talk about this battle, but this is also another battle going on between 9th and 10th. I was talking about a battle going on for 4th place between Colin Daner and Kyle Edwards-Lamb. They're also pretty close together.
And Daner's dropped off in pace just a little bit in the last few laps. That's let Edwards-Lamb get a little bit closer.
Whoa! Daner was one flying off the track there. Is a little bit loose.
Tracking all the way out. Woo, almost got in the dirt there. We're still 3.5 tenths between Crum and Walker, and there's, looks like behind them for 9th it got sorted out. 6 tenths between Mick Blue and Shavelski. This is the closest battle on track as it stands.
Effectively, it was really very much like the battle for the lead we saw with Daner. You can see him running off, flying in quite a few places. And Edwards-Lamb, I think he's just going to be eyeing up again that exit of the final corner. You can get it down to turn 1 if he gets a good enough run.
I feel like a lot of this last corner is really just setting up to get as close as you can to the apex without actually clipping the curve.
Yeah, pretty much, and also getting the right angle into, because if you don't, you're gonna have to back off a bit. It's gonna compromise your run. So you see Walker had a decent run, speaking of which, getting down to turn 1, just no bite. He's running out of time too. We're under 5 minutes left.
Yeah, 5 minutes left in this race. James Walker putting pressure on Kurt Crum now. The question is, can he pressure Kurt into a mistake?
I mean, I don't think so. If Kurt hasn't cracked so far, I don't see why he will in the next 2.5 laps. Kurt's been, I would say Kurt manages decently under pressure from the guys in behind. He's one of those drivers that can definitely stick to his own line and run his own race.
Close behind Mick Blue and Brian Shavelski side by side through turn 1 and 2. And Shavelski going to go the long way around.
He's going to try. He's going to get a decent run here, but Mick Blue's still present on the inside. These guys, similar to what we saw with the leaders a few laps ago. Mick Blue going to charge hard into turn 5. Got the back off though to keep the car under control. And Shavelski going to drive around the outside and secure that spot.
He got it up in front now. James Walker 3 tenths ahead, or excuse me, behind a Kurt Crum. Now what do? Do you charge down in there? Do you try to force him to make a mistake, or do you just hold your line and take second?
I don't know, but I'm still watching the battle for 9th. That's now a 3-way fight as Carter Kundinger's joining the battle. They're side by side, and they're going to be 3 wide for just a second.
And they got it sorted, but Shavelski's gotten the best of it. Mick Blue to 10th, Carter Kundinger all over the back of that number 96 for 10th place.
He's been struggling with the damaged car. You gotta imagine the left side of that car being all torn up is definitely affecting him. Mick Blue gonna go defensive here into the hairpin.
Accelerating up, door slams shut, can't take that. Now for the race lead, 3 tenths. Walker unable to close through the first sector. Now back to 4th place. Here's Edwards-Lamb up the inside of Colin Daner, has to back out, can't complete it.
Yeah, it wasn't quite enough alongside to get the pass down there at them. More likely than not remain like that for another lap. And now looking back at Mick Blue and are actually up with our leaders now, as they're battling nose to tail still. And for Walker, if you're him, what do you do now with 2 laps to go?
If I'm Walker, I just chuck it in and lick the stamp and send it, man. I don't think there's any point in finishing second. Second's just the first loser, so if you finish second, you might as well not have shown up tonight. So if I'm James Walker, I just send that thing down there in turn 1, lock them Porsche brakes up, blast on by the 87, come out the other side going, woo-hoo!
So Walker's just going to become American all of a sudden?
Yeah, pretty much. Canadians got to learn how to lick it. Maybe that's not what I wanted to say. Look at him closing in though through turn 10 here, and 10 and 11. Now to 13 and 14.
And effectively, Walker's is going to have one more solid shot at getting the lead back. Looking further on back to see Carter Cundinger sailing past Mick Blue to secure the spot.
He's got it. He drills the curb there in turn number 8, but up in front, Kurt Crum. He'll take the white flag in race number 1. 1 lap to go. It's half a second back for James Walker. Can he reel Kurt Crum in the lap?
It's going to be taller. I think really, if anything, is going to come down to Kurt Crum making a mistake. See him heading off into turn 1.
Big corner cut there by Walker, but he was able to take advantage of it. Now slide out to the right, all the way to the edge of the racetrack. Dab on the brakes for Crum to get the car rotated. Understeer on those front tires to do the struggling for grip. Walker throttling up 2/10 back. He's close enough for a strike.
Now we'll see here. He's going to peel out wide. Not close enough to send it up the inside into turn 5. But he's starting to push now. He's definitely trying everything. He's using everything he's got.
I think it's going to be a lunge, probably towards the turn 10 side of things, turn 9 and 10. Run a little bit of understeer at corner exit at 5. Now into 7. Straddled the curb, and Kurt Crum threw him offline just a little bit. Walker will be close enough for a move here into turn number 9 if he can just get it throttled up in time. This is definitely close enough for a sideways.
Yeah, he's going to peel out to the left side. Decides nope, he's going to peel back in line.
It was close. He probably could have got that done. I think just being careful, not worth throwing away a race. But I say again, if you ain't first, you're last.
I also don't think he wants a penalty because it's also a very big.
He ain't first or last. Kurt Crum, though, might be first if he can just throttle up these last 2 corners through the chicane. And Kurt Crum, dominant performance after taking the lead away from Walker. Walker close, but no cigar. First place will be Kurt Crum in the number 87 Bombshell Racing Team car. In last place, the 97 of James Walker as he comes out of turn number 16, dead last. Third place,
and I guess
Eric Mickey.
In fourth place, coming out of the final quarter now is going to be Colin Daner. He's been kind of in the middle of no man's land. As most of the field has been past our leaders. Kyle Edwards' land was close, but again, not enough light for him. As you see, Rao looking at Chabelsky and Blue duking out. There's Carter Cundinger right up the road.
Last corners for everybody else. Cundinger, Chabelsky, Blue. They fought and dueled for several laps through several corners. Mick Blue close, can't not get back to the 10. Place car for the 12 car, French Belsky, the 10th place car.
Whoa, no! Blue's gonna spin out of Falconer, hit the tire barriers hard, and then you can see the 43 of Chris Hudson. He's gonna sail on by for 11th place.
Okay, never
It
mind.
looks like Blue's finally got the car back up to speed and will come home in 12th.
That was something. All right. We did it.
And now we get to do it again.
Merkins win. Oh man, what a mess.
Yeah, and also you can note right there on the screen, Zach Ken came across the line in 16th, so he'll be starting in pole for race number 2.
All right, we'll step away for a few minutes to catch our breath, take a break. We'll be back for race 2 in a moment. In a moment. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SCRS Porsche Supercup right here on Sim TV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finney and DeCuna for our 6th round of the 2020 SCRS Porsche Supercup. Welcome back to Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, as we get prepared for our second Pro-Am race of the night. Earlier, we saw it was Kurt Krum that outlasted the best of the rest. And it ended up being a pretty good fight between himself and James Walker, Finian. But what can Walker learn to win race number 2? Because he's going to be coming from a long ways back.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I think definitely, I feel like I've said this before, but I feel like for this track, the passing is definitely going to be tough for these guys to work through. It's going to come at a premium, especially we see most of the only real successful passes come down to turn 1 and a few in turn 5 as well. So there isn't too many passing opportunities on the track. That means you got to make the most out of your time and I guess really opportunities that are given to, especially in the opening laps when everyone is close together. So for him, he's going to have to push. We see him be a little bit more on the cautious side of things, but he's going to have to push it once again near the front, especially with Zach Buchanan starting up on pole.
Yeah, Zach Buchanan, I think, is the wild card here. He started up inside the top 5, got wrecked in the opening lap of race number 1. We know how good he is. He's won races this season, so I would fully expect him to be the one to beat. Especially when he's got plenty of time to run away from the cars buffering between him and James Walker and Kurt Krum. So with 5 seconds left, we'll head down to the racetrack here in just a moment and turn him loose again.
Yeah, I think really for Zach Buchanan, the biggest thing going into this race is going to be, he knows that he's going to be starting up in front. None of the drivers immediately behind him have a shot. I don't think that big of a chance of beating him. So it's going to be all about him just not making a mistake. If he doesn't do that, he should be able to run away with this.
Heading down to the racetrack here, have a look at the weather before we turn them loose. A little bit, well, exactly the same. 69 degrees, 71 on the racetrack. Humidity just about 55%, so nice and cool night here in Barcelona. Sun a little bit lower in the sky. Should be pretty much dark by the end of this thing here, Fabian, so that might be a topic of discussion.
Yeah, it's already a bit dark. Lights are on the cars here, so we'll have some action on with the track. You can see these guys, the lights on, blazing down this straight, and we'll get to see if someone goes spinning out around. You get to see the lights do a 360.
Well, it's easier to spot like that sometimes. We also have to keep in mind the headlight flashing, which was a topic of discussion last week at Spa. It was to the point of annoyance for some drivers, Finian. And your thoughts on the headlight flashing?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's definitely annoying. It can be a bit of a, I'm trying to think of a PG way to say it. You can be a very annoying person doing that, and, you know, people can be mad at you, and rightfully so in some cases, but, you know, I mean, it's like, as a driver, you know, you just kind of get on with it. Just don't look at your mirror and just kind of look at the track up ahead.
Yeah, so my thought on the headlight flashing thing is you flash it once or twice, I think that's totally fine. That's a heads up, I'm coming. When you're sitting on the button for 5 minutes straight, you got to find something better to do. Drive your race car and pass the guy. At a certain point, it's like, what do you're not, if you're flashing the guy for 30 seconds and he hasn't reacted, you're just being stupid. I mean, like, why would you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result? Don't know why, but Zach Buchanan is probably going to have a rear view mirror full of it here in just a minute.
Yeah, and also some notable EOLs, Mick Blue, Isaac Snyder, Colin Danerol dropping to the bank with penalties carrying over.
And resetting the grid here for the start of our 6th round of the season, our second and final race of the Pro-Am for the evening. And we'll head on next week to the next event. But Zach Buchanan out up front alongside Eric Brown, Bunting, Plord, McBlue, Chris Hudson, Shabalski, Kundinger. I think the highest up driver that Buchanan has to worry about is Kundinger, so it's going to be a long way from now. Green flag in the air and an early jump by Buchanan as he fires away and tries to run away from everyone else behind him.
Yeah, a lot more spread out as the field heading to turn 1. We'll see if that makes it any more cleaner as Buchanan now just trying to drive away from the rest of the field heading down to turn 1.
A pumpkin spice mountain range in the background as we head down into the first corner. Brown and Bunting trading spots here as Brian Plorden's on through to second. Behind
Buchanan almost just spun out of turn 2.
Okay. There's Kyle Edwards Lamb up underneath Drew Lidke. Full tires.
Yeah, you don't understand. He was actually about to, like, just die into the wall, so he barely hung on to it. He had thrown a lot of wheel. And see some more side-by-side action here through turn 5. Bunting and Hudson side-by-side. And also see Carter Kundinger. He's another one we could talk about here. Has some pace. Oh, I see a few cars off and hard into the wall in the background.
Kyle Edwards Lamb in the 42.
And Drew Lidke.
Oh, man, that's big news. Go back and see how this all started. Up from above. Oh, but it's just a check up there, and they just both went off all on their own, no contact or anything.
Yeah, I think Edwards Lamb, I think when he saw Lidke come in front of him, I think he panic hit on the brakes harder and he went sideways of his own accord. But you see Zach again up in front.
Oh, there's a big dive back here. Way deep is Kurt Crum, and he just absolutely obliterates James Walker's nose. Now we're 4 wide for a moment as we come on through, and it looks like Crum giving up some of that time as Walker, with severe left front damage, has to live with the repercussions of that move from Crum.
Yeah, and I think Crum was trying to, just try to make up again. You're talking about making up opportunities, and he just went a little bit too hard. Is he calling Daner sideways?
Yeah, he's looped it at the exit of turn number 12 as well. So Buchanan leads the way on through to complete the first lap. I can't believe that was only lap number 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the next few laps have in store, because still got some guys working up through the order. Ryan Plort in second place, Chris Hudson in third. Carter Kundinger has got potential shot. You didn't even see too much of the 2 car. He was damaged for most of race 1 after getting into Buchanan in on lap 1, turn 1.
There's Kundinger and Hudson. This is for third. And deeper, Mickey and Bunting. There's trading spots for 8th place. Move there. Mickey up to 8th, and Bunting back to 9th.
James Walker now gonna also take ahead of Eric Mickey, or he's been up ahead now, trying to chase down Morelli, and Eric Brown is there side by side.
Will that damage affect the 97 at all?
I can't imagine that it would. I don't know. Looking at second glance, that left front's exposed quite a bit.
Up front, Buchanan trying to not be distracted by anything in his mirror because he is gone. 1.4 seconds in front of Ryan Ford. Kundinger, though, is the car that I'd be watching if I'm Jack Buchanan. 2.6.
Car's pushing because, again, he is coming into this round. He's second place into the overall championship, so he's trying to make up as many points as possible. Didn't have a particularly good race 1 after contact on lap 1, so he's hoping to make up as many points as possible, if not get the win, which is definitely on the table still.
Kundinger and Hudson, both teammates just overshot turn number 9, so mistakes there will lose them some time to drivers in front. Ryan Chmielewski, Kurt Crum, battle for 9th.
And Crum also, he's dealing with left rear damage after he made contact with Walker. Straightaway they go. Should be able to get a decent run on Chmielewski, and Chmielewski we seem to be pretty calm with other drivers as far as letting them on by. They see Crum now moving off to the right to make a pass.
Into turn 1, 140 plus miles an hour. Can Crum get it stopped? He's in really hot, but he got it slowed down just in time. Now for 5th, Nicholas Morelli and James Walker.
Walker's trying to catch up, but was lacking in turn 4. Was starting to fall off, so I think the damage is definitely affecting the way that car handles, especially through the high downforce corners.
Up front, going back to Zach Buchanan's lead, it's a 1.5 second differential. He was the fastest car on the racetrack last time by. He's the fastest car on the racetrack overall right now. How long will that last before Walker or Crum moves their way through the field? The question is, I can't find words right now. Will the damage on either the 97 or the 87 be a big enough issue that they won't be able to run down the 40 car?
I would say probably the 97 has the worst. Obviously, I would think damage in the front of the car much better than damage in the rear of the car. As you see, Kurt Crum just moved past Eric Brown for 8th place, and Walker side by side with Morelli now in sector 3.
A long way around. This isn't really going to work out for him unless Morelli gives it up, and it looks like he might Walker's through. That was good, clean driving there by Morelli, and probably smart driving as well. Eric Mickey approaching.
Eric Mickey, and then also Kurt Crum further back from these drivers as well. So Crum trying to catch back up to Morelli if possible. You can see the gaps between some of the cars as well.
Chasing each other all the way to the grass on the front stretch. Speeds climbing 163, 164, 165 for Morelli on an attack on Walker to the inside. He'll back out. Morelli lifts, and here comes Mickey.
Now Mickey through the right hand. They're going to try to keep the car tight, pinch and catch up to Walker if possible. We've seen again Walker be in a separate zip code compared to most of the field, other than really Kurt Crum was the only driver able to match him last race.
He's charging into the corners, trying to get by this 095 is Eric Mickey. 2 seconds is the lead for Zach Buchanan. He continues to try to run away.
Oh, Morelli around.
Yeah, just got on the curb there, slipped and slid. He gets back rolling, only loses a couple spots, but a mistake for sure.
Zach Buchanan up the road, 2.2 seconds now between himself and Ryan Porter. Porter's been having a really solid, this is good recovery compared to where he finished in race one. Race one, he managed to claw back to 13th, but so far so good. He's actually hoping to make up on the points he lost to Litke, and Litke finished up in 6th place, but Litke all the way now back in 16th. Well,
Oh no! You cursed him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan.
Commentator curse. I'm
well,
glad you did, because I was about to talk about him anyway, so I'm glad you took the call for that.
Whoa! I thought I saw Mickey about to go around in front of him as well.
Now Kurt Crum on the attack on Ryan Porter. Commentator curse, man, that'll get you. It's even, the crazy thing is, it even happens in real life. So I try very hard not to say anything nice about anybody in GLTC because I really don't want to be responsible for someone crashing into their stuff. And trust me, when I say it's real, it's real.
No, it happens way often than it should. It's really, it's beyond, it shouldn't be a thing, but it's definitely a thing.
It's 100% a thing. And we actually were talking about a time attack car at Pikes Peak the other day. We're like, oh wow, he's running really well, and he exploded. The motor just blew up.
I shouldn't be laughing.
Oiled down the track on the backstretch. I was like, well, okay, I guess we're not going to talk about him anymore. You have to learn to never talk about someone in a good light, because then the bad will happen. And don't talk about them in a bad light, because when the bad happens, it's going to look like you predicted it. So you basically just don't talk about anybody.
Whoa! Don't talk about it anyway. It's a
Just go walk into Barcelona, and then you just let the TV camera show it, and you just sit back and grab a drink and watch. Hey.
And
good thing we didn't check out
Mick
McBlue,
Blue.
because that would have looked like I was responsible for it.
That was him that went around just by himself. Hunter's been struggling for turn 6.
I just caught in the grass on the edge, and I caught in the grass on the other edge. Looped it, came to a stop, and a skid.
Sounds like me trying to land in Flight Simulator.
Just like it.
Catch the grass on one end, catch the grass on the other end, and loop around and spin.
Buchanan, big jump over the curb on the right to finish out the lap. And this will be his 5th lap completed. And it's a 4.6 second gap. Now the goal for Buchanan, never mind, we're gonna move on to second. Carter Kundinger. Carter Kundinger, he's having a great night tonight. Running in second. Started all the way back in 8th place. So this is a really good recovery effort.
He's gonna, he said it now, he's gonna bin it.
Kyle works in mysterious ways. Chris Hudson in 3rd, started 6th. He's up 3 spots. Trying to catch back up with his teammate, but Kundinger's just a tad quicker. But the quickest of everybody is still Zach Buchanan.
And now Zach's gonna have something happen to him.
Yeah.
Back actually for 4th place, Eric Mickey. He's actually caught back up to Walker and has been working on him. So that damage definitely, we're starting to see more of an effect because he blew past Mickey, but now Mickey able to bounce back and fight with Walker for that 4th place spot.
Again, we're looking at the left front here. That is pretty severely damaged, especially in the splitter area. And I really wouldn't expect this car to drive very well in the higher speed corners. And Barcelona's got some slow speed sections, but it also has some pretty fast corners as well. So I think it's going to hurt Walker's performance enough that it's going to reel in Eric Mickey and probably teammate Kurt Crum to see him in the background.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the plan. To see if they're going to see anything maybe between Mickey and Crum. If Mickey will let Crum on by to try to have his way at Walker here.
Big unders here for Mickey, trying to get the car rotated in. 4-car fight now with Walker, Mickey, Crum, and Fleury.
Yeah, I'm curious now with Walker up ahead, what he can try to do to, defend from these guys in behind. Because considering he's driving with a damaged race car.
5.7 seconds. Zach Buchanan leads this race, and this would be a huge win for him, especially after the damage that he had earlier in the first race where he got wrecked on the opening lap, doing nothing wrong, just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. This would be a good way to recover some of those points that he lost.
See if he can get it done here. He's only got a line. We're just about halfway through the race. He can just keep it up again. He's going to be his own worst enemy here in this throughout this race. But so far, so good with a almost 6-second lead.
Colin Daner, Mick Blue, drag race down the front stretch into turn 1. Daner coming over just slightly on Mick Blue, and Bunting in behind watching all of it.
Mick Blue had a horrible turn 2. Now here comes Bunting now all over the back trying to get a good run.
Blue under attack now from the 83 for 14. Kurt Crum now has gotten by teammate Eric Mickey. That would put him in 5th. They've both lost ground to James Walker, but I don't think any of them are to get up to the top spot unless some drastic drama happens towards the front of the field. So they're just battling now for a podium spot. That's Chris Hudson. He's a long ways away.
Yeah, I was taking a look back at it, and Mickey did pull out of the way for Kurt Crum to go on ahead and fight. We'll see there what we got in store between Crum and Walker if Crum can get on past James and then maybe work up to 3rd place, and potentially 2nd's going to be tall order here with the amount of time we have left.
12 minutes to go. Zach Buchanan leads. 6.3 seconds is the gap now.
Yeah, and also just notably ran his fastest lap of the race.
149.066. I don't know if we've seen times in the 48s yet. Oh, we have. Nope, there is one faster lap. That would be Kurt Crum, 148.985.
Barely into the 148s.
But in it. And quietly did that somehow also in traffic, which is amazing in its own right.
And with us, the damaged car as well.
I'm not convinced the damage is quite as bad as the kind that James Walker has, but it certainly isn't helping.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually got some decent damage to the right side as well. That I actually didn't, to the right front. I noticed it mostly in the rear, but the right side's also dinged up. But yeah, as you're saying, not as severe as Walker's damage, but still gonna hurt you just a little bit.
You're gonna get a better look at this here in a moment. We'll have a look here at what Crum's dealing with, and you're talking about right under the splitter here. The splitter should come out and go over like that, but it's pretty severely torn up.
Yeah, the thing is that that wheel is still covered by the fenders, although dented slightly and realigned. But for Walker, that tire is completely exposed to the air and did significant damage to that front. It can also mention suspension damage too for the 97.
Well, sizing up, this battle's about to get really intense between the top, well, 3rd through 5th. As Chris Hudson is not that far up the road from James Walker.
Starting to fall off the pace a little bit, not catching the guys up ahead, and most of the drivers in behind as fast, if not faster than him, in behind. So we're starting to see the guys from 2nd all the way back to around 5th or 6th starting to converge on one another.
Also, Isaac Snyder, Kyle Edwards Land. This is a fight for 9th place here with 10 minutes to go.
And Land with a decent run off the corner. We'll see if we can translate that into a passing move.
Not quite close enough this time. He might step out of line and go for it anyway. Here he comes. On the brakes. Way deep. Can he get the car stopped? Brakes glowing. He's through turn 1. He went a little bit wide, but he does it. What a move there.
Yeah, the back end stepped out. I was a bit concerned he was just going to go flying on through the corner, but managed to get the car to sink just enough to get the pass done.
Look at there goes Morelli. Oh, there's the headlights flashing. There's a little bit of a distraction tactic from the 095 to the driver's left of the 333. Snyder looked like he's either going to lift or not make this too difficult on Morelli as he goes through to 10.
And Walker getting slowly closer to Chris Hudson for Third place, you Colin Daner. He's going to continue to struggle in this race. Back in the grass, 14th, and now trying to hold on to that spot as Lidke's come at him.
Yeah, not the night that Colin Daner was asking for, as Lidke sneaks on through to 14th. Not exactly a picturesque perfect night, but sometimes you'll have those.
Yeah, they're starting this race in 4th and down to 15th, sorry.
Whoa, tracking out way wide is James Walker. He'll drop a tire off in the dirt, but he'll get back on. You see Crum and Mickey, the team cars in behind, starting to reel him in.
Yeah, that's again, you can see Walker struggling with the handling, trying to keep up with Hudson up ahead. He's got his machine still intact.
And next time by will be 4 laps to go. Running him down now, so Crum is running out of time. He's got 7/10 of a second to make up, but last time by he was about 3/10 quicker than Walker.
Yeah, I don't think he's got to worry about Walker at this point. There's no way, even if he gets past the cars, he's not in a good enough shape to really go on by himself to catch up to Buchanan.
Now Chris Hudson will be shaking his boots because here come 3 more cars that are way faster, at least about a half a second, 6/10 faster than him the last time around.
Yeah, they already have damaged machine. They're already frustrated, and you can imagine, coming late in a race, that's a recipe for disaster. If you're the guy up in front, you don't know what these guys are going to do behind. I think Walker might not see anything too crazy, but for Crum, he saw that big dive in the opening lap. I think we're still not overseeing the 87 being less aggressive just yet.
Out in front, Cutter Kundinger is 8.3 behind Buchanan, but he's also about 2 seconds up the road from teammate Chris Hudson, who was dealing with an angry mob of race cars, led by second place finisher from race 1, James Walker, and winner from race 1, Kurt Crum.
Here's to see what turn 1's going to look like here. We'll find out here in just a few seconds as Walker, Crum, both trying to get decent runs through this final quarter onto the straightaway. We'll see everyone's got a good enough run to make a pass.
A lot of runs coming. I think Crum might have the best of them all with the double draft, but Walker's not coming in any closer. Braking zone for turn 1. 6 minutes to go. 3 or make that 4 laps.
You can see Walker having to back out there. Almost got to Hudson, and now Crum trying to force the issue, trying to gas him just a little bit early, but he's going to get pushed out wide.
Now Eric Mickey has also gotten on the tail half of this group. So 3rd through 6th, a battle for a podium spot in the SCRS Porsche Supercup with 4 laps to go from Barcelona. Here comes Walker up the inside of Hudson. He's through. He needed to make that move fast, and here comes Crum now.
Yeah, looks like Hudson kind of gave it to him. We'll see here if Hudson does something similar with Kurt Crum. Nope. Gonna fight that spot.
Now 2 Bombshell Racing team cars. Crum will easily have the inside line for turn number 9 here. Hudson will try to hang on, but can't quite do it. Mickey goes up the inside.
Hudson not over yet just yet. He's still present along the left side. Maybe try to outbrake Kurt Crum. Can't quite. Eric Mickey going to try to outbrake Hudson. Now who's stuck on the inside.
Yep, and Hudson will clear that car and move himself back into 5th for now. Fireball exploding at the back of the flat 6. 3 laps to go this time through for Buchanan. Leads by 8.8. No battle up front. It's all for 3rd.
And now with that battle, that's allowed Crum to get very close to the back of Walker here, who's struggling with I would argue, more damaged machine. You see how Walker is very similar to what they did in race 1.
Now start to weave. Is it working? Crum's still closing. I'm not convinced that weaving is doing a whole lot for him. Into the braking zone for turn 1. 4.5 minutes to go. 3 laps left for Walker to hang on.
Yeah, I think that car's already hurting in a straight line with Bitsy's damage. I think the weaving's only going to really make that worse, but was able to hold on that time through.
Up to speed. Look at Crum tracking out a little bit farther, using a bit more racetrack than the 3rd place car.
And already passed Walker once before and was into this very corner in race number 1. think now considering what we saw in race 1, do you think Crum's gonna force the issue just to finish one spot ahead of Walker?
I don't think he needs to. I mean, given his point situation, if I'm Kurt Crum, I don't risk this, but if I get a good opportunity, I'm not going to back out. I just wouldn't go send it in deep, expecting to have the spot given to me. I don't think it's worth it for Crum to chuck it down there, but he might if he gets the chance. We know Crum is aggressive.
Yeah, I'm actually curious in seeing if anything might happen from what happened on lap 1. Heading down into the hairpin on the back stretch, that'll be reviewed, and we'll see if anything is assessed for the 87. Oh, as Walker gonna lock up his
turns him around.
Oh no, and now Crum got punted off by Hudson, and a big mess in the final corner.
With 2 laps to go, what was that all about, guys?
That's just a domino effect right there.
I think Walker sort of misses the corner here just a little bit. It sort of parks it on exit, I think, and then Crum gets into the back of him, and then Crum tried to give it back, and that was just everybody. Well, I think that was just a lot of bad decisions happening in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and unfortunate circumstances as well combined with that, but Kurt Crum with that's going to drop back to 7th. And Walker going to actually continue on. He can benefit from that. He's going to be out in 3rd with 4.5 seconds back to Eric Mickey to boot.
There's Hudson running the back of Ryan Plord. This is for 5th. Remember, Plord spun out earlier. We're running up in 2nd. And I don't think he's going to get all the way back there, but he could get back to 5th. And he's going to have to hang on to it, though, because Hudson's putting pressure on Plord and really hot smokes the tires.
And he's starting to fall into that pressure a little bit, but he's going to hold the spot for now. But he's got not only Hudson, but Kurt Crum coming up. And if Plord can make some mistakes like that, Crum's going to catch him in a hurry.
Out up front, Zach Buchanan. Formula One fan, very familiar with this track from a variety of sims. But put himself in the Project 240 tonight, up inside the top 5 of the start of race number 1. Was catapulted off in dramatic fashion in the opening lap in the opening corner. And his recovery and his aim to finish 16th in race 1 was met. And he was able to start on pole and drive away from the chaos and confusion behind him. 1 lap to go from Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this will exactly make up for what happened in race number 1, but I think he'll be particularly happy if he can get the win done here again. 10.5 seconds back to Carter Crum sitting in 2nd place, and did I say Carter Crum? Carter Kundinger. Sorry about that. Getting the K's mixed up.
So he's all on by himself. I think the rest of the battles have sort of fizzled. Plord and now Chris Hudson continue fighting for 5th, and Plord hanging on pretty well.
Yeah, again, we'll have to see if he can hold on for another lap, because it's going to be easier said than done with Hudson and Crum now starting to mount pressure in behind. And if Plord can do it, a pat on the back to him.
Sweeping their way through the middle of the racetrack now, Buchanan working his way up towards turns 7 and 8.
Yeah, and Deck could, well, you might want to not actually do this. He can pretty much kick his legs up and just kind of cruise the rest of the way.
Well, he's got an 11-second lead. I don't think he needs to do anything but. Project 2, number 40. They came here, they started up front, got wrecked out, they've recovered, and drove a nearly flawless race, other than a near miss for a spin on the opening lap. Zach Buchanan has run every single lap in the 49s. Super consistent, super fast, jumps the curbs in celebration. This time it will be a victory for Zach Buchanan in Project 2, number 40. As he comes out of turn number 16 to flat 6, wailing under the teal and yellow checkered flag at Barcelona. Zach Buchanan wins in Spain.
Yeah, a great drive by the 40 there of Zach Buchanan to get it done. Another win to his name. Carter Kundinger going to come out of the final corner. He's going to get some solid points on James Walker, who's going to finish right in behind him, but still points nonetheless for Walker, as just mentioned. Going to finish out that podium in 3rd place. Meanwhile, looking back, whoa!
And Crum's going to lock it down. He'll be able to hang on to this spot, I think, but Ryan Plord, 5th place. Great recovery there. Chris Hudson, Burt Crum limps across the line in 7th. Shabalski, Kyle Edwards-Lamb, and the rest of the field. Buchanan, Kundinger, Walker. Walker with 2 podiums on the night, Kundinger a second. Kurt Crum wins race 1, 7th in race number 2.
Yeah, fantastic job done by him. Again, that opening lap, I gotta say, that was a really big concern. The amount of wheel he had to put in to save that car when he was going through turn 3 was amazing. I thought he was honestly going to go flying off the track, but kept it on and was able to bring home the victory.
We're going to step away for one moment. We'll be right back with interviews to conclude SCRS Porsche Supercup round number 6. Hang tight. Welcome back live to Sim TV and SCRS Porsche Supercup. Here now with the 74 of Ryan Plord, who pulled off a 5th place run in the 2nd of the 2 Pro-Am races and won the Am race earlier tonight. Ryan, a really good night for you, but had a spin in race number 2. You recovered for a 5th. Take us through your night.
Man, I can't imagine the Am race going any better. This track doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in me, but I had some really close racing with Drew, and he put a ton of pressure on me. I mean, that was just an absolute blast. Really kudos to him because that was such a clean, fun race. Race 2, man, nothing to write home about. I can't believe I lost it, but just a combination of cold tires, a little too much throttle coming out of the corner. I was a little eager because I was running 3rd. And then just, man, I bounced right off the wall and was just hoping everyone would miss me, and it didn't turn out that way, so I ended up with a lot of damage. But race 2 got a little boring there in the middle. I kind of just found a gap. I had a weird spin near the beginning that kind of sent me between the super fast drivers and the other drivers. So, but then later on, I don't know what happened up in front of me, but all of a sudden there were a bunch of cars off, and I just I took advantage. I sent it into turn 1 and stuck it, and so great to finish 5th.
A lot of hard breakings on at this racetrack. We head to Montreal next week. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, your thoughts on that track and whether or not you think you can win there?
I've been all right at Montreal in the past, but I'm really not great when it's the straight, hard braking with the Porsche. And the giant curbs going into the Wall of Champions are definitely going to catch some people out. Hopefully not me. We'll see.
All right. Well, a strong run for the 74 Porsche tonight. Ryan, thanks for talking. We'll see you next week. Move on now to, let's take a chat here with Zach Buchanan, race 2 winner. And race 1 did not go the way you were expecting tonight, Zach. You got kind of punted off in spectacular fashion. Race 2, though, well, that was about as perfect as it gets. A strong run. I don't think you ever ran a lap outside of the 149s. Came back and bled every lap and won the race. Take us through it.
Yeah, it was a rocky night tonight. Can't help but feel a little disappointed at the end of the night just because I can't really afford to have one bad finish and one good finish every night. But yeah, after race 1, I just tried to play for the invert, and for race 2, it was just all about staying as consistent as I can and hitting on my marks, and I pulled it off, and I'm pretty happy with myself.
Well, Barcelona this week. It'll be Montreal next. Zach, good luck out there. We'll see you there. Moving on now to Kurt Crum, won the first race of the night. A lot of drama in race 2, though. Kurt, take us through race number 2, especially. I want to hear everything that went down from start to finish, because it was a wild one for you.
Yeah, it sure was. Race 1 was super fun. Not a whole lot to say there. I think it was what it was. Race 2, yeah, it went from bad to worse. Early on, coming through traffic, started going okay. I got behind Bunting in the braking zone there, and it seemed like he couldn't really decide where to go, and it really threw me off in my braking points. And I ended up getting a cut track. I hit James and wanted to make sure to let him by. I felt bad about sliding across his nose there. And then, the recovery drive was going okay until the end there. James came off the corner a little slow. I didn't check up in time. And I was trying to let him by again just because I don't want to spin someone from behind for the win or pass anyway. And then Eric apparently didn't get the memo. And that happened.
All right, Kurt. Well, it was a race win tonight, a 7th in race 2. We'll see you next week in Montreal.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
That's going to do it for SCRS Porsche Super Cup tonight. We'll see you next week at Montreal. Next thing you're going to see, Formula I right here on Saturday afternoon. We'll see you later. Have a good night.